There are many mysteries in the world, such as, are there aliens? Am I ever going to grow up to 6 feet tall? How did March 7th get the photos for the parts she wasn't there for? What is the best Jingliu team? We don't know the answers to the first 3 questions, but I can assure you this video will answer the last one. Bronya, Ruan Mei, and Huohuo. I know. The 2 best Harmony characters in the game and the best offensive sustained character in the game. But there are deeper meanings as to why I chose these 3 specific co-stars for Jingliu. 1 plus 1 is greater than 2. That is a synergy effect with these 4 characters. More on that later. Or you can just skip to that part. Timestamps are right below. We all know this team's gonna put up high damage numbers. There is no denying that. But there are concerns revolving around this team. I will first address these concerns one might have with this team, and then I will debunk each one.
Do not concern yourself with the outcome.
First concern, SP. Bronya and Huohuo are not exactly SP friendly. Huohuo's talent stacks only last for 2 turns. For reference, Fu Xuan and Ruan Mei both have a duration of 3 turns, while Bronya herself would prefer to use her skill as much as possible. She is basically a black hole for SP. And to make matters slightly worse, Jingliu can't generate you any SP in her enhanced form. Let's start with Jingliu herself. I'm going to be frank with you. If you're ever in a situation where you need to basic attack with your main DPS to generate SP, maybe you should turn off the auto battle and then adjust your turn rotations. Because main DPS should never be wasting their turn trying to generate SP for the team. Have you ever seen Kobe pass the ball? Have you ever seen Cam Thomas passing the ball? No, they're scorers. Their job is to do damage on the offensive end. Same for Jingliu. Next up, Bronya. The more times she can use her skill, the more attacks Jingliu can dish out. This means you will want to force feed Bronya as much SP as possible, preferably having her use her skill every turn if possible. There are only 2 ways to help generate more SP with Bronya. Luckily, they are both very obtainable for free-to-play players. The 2 ways are Eidolons and her signature light cone. Her E1 has a 50% fixed chance of recovering 1 skill point with a 1-turn cooldown. Her signature LC regenerates 1 SP after using her ult with a 2 usage cooldown. For her signature LC, you can straight up just buy it from the shop. It's not free though. It will cost you an equivalent of 3 tempos worth of starlight. But you know what is free? The 300 character selector. That's free. We also get a steady supply of basic tickets from weekly missions and events. Statistically speaking, every time we pull on the standard banner, we have a chance of getting a Bronya. Plus, I'm sure none of you are winning all of your 50-50s. So eventually we'll lose a 50-50 and you might get a Bronya as a consolation prize. To wrap this all up, Bronya needs her E1 and her signature LC to make her more SP friendly. Luckily, it is possible to get them even if you're a free-to-play. It just might take a bit more time. Next up, Ruan Mei. Ruan Mei may not be a reliable parent, but she is the most reliable one on this team when it comes to generating SP. She is basically the SP battery on this team. If any of you ever used Ting Yun before, then Ruan Mei is basically doing her best Ting Yun impression on this team, minus the dying part. While Ruan Mei isn't SP hungry, there are still ways for her to generate even more SP. First of all, the Thief Relic set has a 4-piece effect that can regenerate 3 SP when she weakness breaks enemies. This shouldn't be too hard to achieve, especially when all of us have this relic set filled to the brim. Unfortunately, the second way may cost you. Ruan Mei's signature LC has many perks, but the main one we'll focus on is when she uses her ult, she regenerates 1 SP. There's a 150% break effect condition, but the light cone gives you 60% already, so you shouldn't have any issue getting to 150. Just like how you should never get financial advice from Wall Street Bets, you should never be getting financial advice from this video. You do not need Ruan Mei's signature LC. I'm simply saying that by having it, it does provide many extra perks. And one of those perks is generating 1 SP every time Ruan Mei uses her ult. To wrap this all up, Ruan Mei isn't the problem when it comes to the subject of SP concerns for this team. If you want to, her signature LC can provide even more SP. Getting her signature LC may cost you some gems, but using the deep relic set on her is completely free, and should be very doable for many if not all players. Finally, Huohuo. From personal experience, I've found myself using Huohuo's skill very frequently in harder difficulty content. At least that was the case until I said enough is enough and pulled for her E1. With her E1, her field duration is now 3 turns instead of 2 turns. This is a very big difference. I know her banner has
disappear among the sea of butterflies,
so there's really not much we can do here. On the bright side, as a healer, you can always give her passerby relic sets, but in my opinion, that relic set isn't that good. To wrap this all up, Huohuo needs SP, largely because her field has a 2-turn duration. This issue can only be resolved if you have her E1, but not everyone has that luxury. So I personally think it's better to stick with the hackerspace relic, just because it maximizes the amount of speed on Huohuo. The more speed Huohuo has, the more action she may be able to take. This means she can weave in a few basic attacks if needed.
Do not concern yourself with the outcome.
Okay, so what happens if you don't have some of these characters? Who can take their place? For Ruan Mei, it's Pella, and only Pella. Pella has been the best debuffer for Jingliu because of the ice resist shred. She is a close second to Ruan Mei, and there's really no other competition. For Bronya, it's Ting Yun. Ting Yun can't give action advance, but energy recovery isn't a bad secondary choice. For Huohuo, it's Lord Cha. Lord Cha is the only healer who can provide, at the bare minimum, similar healing, if not better healing. And to be honest, the only reason I have Huohuo as the best healer for Jingliu is because I value offensive skill set over defensive skill set.
An endless lifespan is just a bitter wait for insanity.
There is a synergy effect between Ruan Mei, Bronya, and Huohuo. Let me explain. Huohuo's team-wide energy recovery can help Ruan Mei and Bronya get the ult faster. Remember in the early segments on SP, if Ruan Mei and Bronya can use the ult more often, that can lead to even more SP being generated, simply because of Ruan Mei's signature Lycone and Bronya's signature Lycone. Not to mention Jingliu getting her ult more often means being an enhanced form more often. On the subject of signature Lycones, Huohuo's signature LC restores HP for the ally currently with the lowest HP percent, ... whenever an ally uses their ult. This just means a little bit of free healing every time anybody on the team uses their ult. By the way, Huohuo isn't the only one giving energy to the whole team. Ruan Mei's signature LC gives a flat 10 energy to the entire team at the start of each wave. Bronya's signature LC also gives herself a 10% energy regen. Huohuo's signature LC also gives herself a 12% energy regen. But wait, there's more. Ruan Mei has a 10% speed buff for the whole team through her talent. Huohuo has a 12% speed buff. While 10% and 12% isn't a large number by themselves, they can help push your team to hit a certain speed breakpoint. While on the subject of speed, if you run hackerspace relic sets on Bronya, Huohuo, and Ruan Mei, you could time when you use your ult to get an additional 12% speed boost from the relic sets. With all these additional speed percent perks, you can even get away with running attack percent boost on your Jingliu. She should have no issues getting the max attack percent boost from her enhanced skill because the other 3 are naturally beefy. Huohuo is even the 4th ranked character with the highest HP at level 80 before applying any stat boost from her traces and relics. And don't forget, Huohuo's passive healing from her talents can pretty much nullify the HP drain from Jingliu's enhanced skill. Jingliu is the 2nd most efficient damage dealer in the game. Ruan Mei is one of the most SP positive support in the game. This is important to note because Huohuo and Bronya can be SP vampires. One of Ruan Mei's best quality is the fact that all her turn durations on her ult and her skill are based off of her own turns. This means no matter how many times you attack with Jingliu, the buffs from Ruan Mei will not expire because of the attacks. Since Ruan Mei also makes it easier to weakness break and extends the duration of weakness breaking, it lessens the need for Huohuo to manual heal with her skill. This way, you can just heal automatically from her field and her LC. As I mentioned before, Huohuo's biggest flaw is her SP consumption. This weakness is pretty much covered up with Bronya, Ruan Mei, and Huohuo herself if you have her E1. I hope you can see how each of these small benefits that these characters give helps amplify each other. There are so many advantages that synergize well between these characters. I can go on and on, but I think you get the point. While Jingliu can do well with other character combinations, I strongly believe this combination of Ruan Mei, Bronya, and Huohuo is the best Jingliu team comp as of version 1.6. Let me know if you agree or disagree with anything I've said in this video. Please give a thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.